right, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday to you. Let's get that adjusted just slightly. There we go. Dana Reed, good morning. Rune International, good afternoon to you, sir. Zoe the Cat, good morning, good day. Not sure where you're from, so happy Saturday. Might be Sunday, maybe. Yes, we definitely had some catitude in the chat earlier. One of the kitties decided to add to the conversation, which is always welcome. Dave Addion, good morning. Robert Patton, hello to you. Mika Wolf, good morning. Robert Patton, I just said your name. Robert Patton, you got mentioned twice. G Key Man, please do drive safely and good morning to you. Who else do we have? We are live. I am handsome. And apparently audio and video are good. Oh my, what a morning. Oh, what a week. Jeez Louise. Never stops, does it? Ever. Like we just keep going and going and going and going. Like I think the Energizer Bunny has contacted us asking how we do it. Uh, Pretty sure that we had to, yeah, we just took the message, wrote it down. We haven't called the Energizer Bunny back yet. Um, let's see. No, what, Dana? What are you saying no to? And what are you doing? Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. There was a kitty. Um, so yeah, no, we've been busy this week. Not slam busy. Um, we are talking about overtime for the next 3 weeks yet. Ugh. Well, if you can squeeze in overtime before the summer really gets started, that's not that bad, you know? Gives you a little extra cash. You can put that new set of tires on your car so you can go kayaking, traveling more. It sucks in the short run, but, you know, pays off in the long run. No, it never ends. Yeah, overtime, yeah, that would suck. I mean, you're making extra money, but at the same time, you're too tired to enjoy it. So anyway, no, I've had a little bit of overtime the last week since I was live, but nothing horrible. Obviously, no Saturdays that I was having to work, but uh, as far as working, there was one job that did carry me late. It was an emergency residential rekey, and I get there at 3:30, and they have 15 cylinders, all of it Baldwin hardware, which Baldwin is kind of a pain in the ass to take apart. Uh, so, and of course there were a couple that just didn't want to do, and four of the cylinders that were non-Baldwin were CES profile cylinders. If you're not familiar with that, instead of having like set screws in each of the chambers, you have a plastic cap that snaps down on top. Plus, you have to use, they were Schlage keyway, and because of the way they're manufactured, if you have a one cut, you have to go down to a zero. Or if you have a seven cut, you have to go down to a six pin when you're pinning them. It's really screwed up. I don't like them. We do charge more for rekeying profile cylinders. But it was, like I said, an emergency rekey. So, I was happy to help. Let's see. This week I found out it's a bad idea to drink a large bottle of SodaStream Mountain Dew just before bed. Rune, it has been 3.5 years since I last drank any type of soft drink. Um, I quit drinking soft drinks 3.5 years ago. A little over a year ago is when I quit drinking juices and tea and anything. Basically, there's water and alcohol are the only two beverages that I have. Um, and I don't mix the alcohol with anything. It's just straight alcohol. Don't think I've ever said that on live before, but it's part of my diet and it cuts way down on sugar intake. However, years ago, before I quit drinking soft drinks, I constantly had a Mountain Dew within arm's reach at all times. And I was that way for years. And I could drink Mountain Dew and go right to sleep. If I were to drink a Mountain Dew right now, like a 12-ounce can of Mountain Dew, I think I would probably be running laps up and down the street. Pretty sure, if I didn't puke from drinking the Mountain Dew. You had no idea it had caffeine in it? Wow. Yeah. Mountain Dew has 1 metric crap ton of caffeine in it per 12 ounces. That's for sure. Okay, Zoe, you are from the south suburbs of Chicago. Awesome. I've been to Chicago exactly once. Um, had a decent time. It was a very quick, kind of last minute trip, but I got to ride the L. I got to eat Chicago pizza, and I did uh, architectural, the Chicago Architectural Association or whatever riverboat tour, which I really really enjoyed that because I love the looks of all the buildings up there and wanted to learn more about it. And what better way to do that than on a boat? Um, so yeah, that was really really fun. I'll probably visit again one day. Chicago's a little on the chilly side for me. I don't like cold weather. Let's see here. To do. Good choices. Yeah. Yeah. It's good choices. No sugar, low carbs. Exercise. I've been working out for the past month or so. I've been slacking the last like couple weeks. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Um, so this week, when was it? It was Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. Good friend of mine uh, texted me a video, or it was Wednesday. Excuse me, it was Wednesday. Good friend of mine, he texted me a video of him trying to get into his little shop building beside of his house, which when he bought his house months ago, I rekeyed it for him. And anyway, I've done a couple other things for him after he dropped his safe. While moving it into the house, I went and checked the safe out. And anyway, so he sent me a video showing that he couldn't get into his shop. It just had a knob, a Schlage knob, this Schlage knob that we will look at in greater detail here in a moment. But the key would not turn to the unlocked position. Turned fine to the locked position, which is counterclockwise on a Schlage, but to the locked position, it would not budge. And so I'm trying to give him some pointers and stuff over text message, and he had left and came back later, and I'm driving home, and it's everything that I'm saying, hey, try this, try that, blah, 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 uh, wasn't working. And he's like, okay, do I just need to get the angle grinder out and cut the thing off the door? And I took what time it was, and I said, "Nah, I'm running early, getting home today. I'll come up there." He's like 20 minutes away. So I drove up there, and cause at first I was going to tell him to pull the knob, pull the outside knob off, and remove, the cylinder and everything. Just reach in there with a pair of needle nose pliers to turn the actuator to unlock. Is the lock and unlock spindle. That's this part right here, which we'll look at that in a second. Yes, this is the knob because I went there. And anyway, I I get there, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't pull the knob off." Okay, well, I do my thing, yank, and it comes off because I knew it would come off because I rekeyed the daggone thing. And so anyway, I did that, and then I go and I do a few tricks to try to turn the spindle from the outside just to get it to unlock, and it won't. I said, "Okay, we need to drill." And so I did a blind drilling. Um, so let's look here. Did you like caffeine keeps me going? Mountain Dew is not a normal product here in Denmark, but got the Soda Stream mix on clearance sale. Ah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, Rune. As unfortunate as it is here in the Southeast U.S., uh, there are some kids who are raised on Mountain Dew and sweet tea. Um, those are like staples, essential staples here in the South. Um, but yes, Mountain Dew will give you a jolt. Just try it in the mornings. That's all I'm saying. In case if it's like too warm for coffee or something. Anthony, good morning. So the cat try to stay out of trouble, or try to stay out of the city with the trouble going on. Yeah, I didn't run into any trouble when I was there, there thankfully, but that was 13, 12, 13 years ago now. So it was a while ago. Death Warp 131. Good morning. Don't think I've seen your screen name before, but congratulations on passing your test. Awesome. Licensed locksmith now. Now you get to learn how to be a locksmith. I kind of thought I was doing really, really well to have, you know, when I got my license, passed my license test and everything, I was like, "Ooh, I did all that, and I've never worked as a locksmith before." First day on my job, I'm like, "Yeah, you can tell that I've never worked as a locksmith before." Oh, been here once a week. That's right. Yeah. Okay. I do remember that now. Awesome. Well, congratulations. So, with back to my buddy's knob, that means something completely different here in the US than it does other parts of the world. Uh, I said we're going to have to drill, and of course, he thought we were going to drill for the cylinder. That's not the case because the key turned just fine in the cylinder. And so I yanked the knob off, and it's going to lead me into my product placement. Yes, today is eventually going to turn into an infomercial, but took the handy dandy, well, his version, he had the Harbor Freight version. Uh, Took that, yanked the knob off like that, and you can see the actuator right in there, how it's angled. It's not supposed to be like that, especially when the back is level like this. So you can see out of the back, this is the same piece, and yet it's canted here. So I drilled for the screws, and I drilled so, so, so good for the screws. I mean, I do have to brag on myself. I did that. That's the closest to tearing out that I came on this thing. Um, and just to emphasize, this is one of the screws, and this is one of the screws, still in the interior trim. So you can see that. It was awesome. Yes, I have to brag on myself. So, long story short, I got them in there. I don't have the cylinder because I left it with my buddy because he was going to rekey the replacement that he went and bought. I wasn't going with him to the store, but I had to get home and feed cats and feed myself. Um, let's see here. It's two. Okay, Death Warp. You've been working as a locksmith since February. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, congratulations. I remember Jolt. S. Roberts, good morning. Yes, I. I'm not gonna say I got completely lucky because I do take these apart, like as I've been reminded by my coworkers all week. Every time I bring this up, um, I do take these apart like at least a couple times a week, so I know pretty much where the screws are. But to be that dead on, yes, I was pretty good. Not gonna say lucky. I was skilled. There we go. And you wanted to drill for where the key went. So, you know. Yes, Jolt. I never got into Jolt soda. Like that never really got me. I didn't like the taste of it. Just like I don't like the taste of Red Bull. All right, so the topic for today is this guy. It's not just a pokey tool. And S. Roberts, your Harbor Freight version bent when I used it. Sorry about that. This I've not seen this version bend. This is the Shrum tool. Give you all a close up here so you can see exactly what we're working with. Um, Shrum tool. It is manufactured about 7 minutes away from me. The Shrum is a local locksmith, and he actually came up with this tool probably 40, 50 years ago. He's been a locksmith for a very long time, but it's based on the traveler's hook that's used in knitting and weaving. He made some design modifications and sold that to the Carolina Roller Company, which is, the company that's just up the street from me. Basically, you have a resin type handle here. These are very difficult to break. I have broken one, but they are very difficult to break. Your hardened steel shaft here is very hard. There's almost no flex to it. And then it goes off 90 degrees into a sharpened point. And you might think, well, yeah, you use that to bypass latches and stuff. No, you use this tool for everything. As I just showed, you can use it for when you're doing a rekey and you need to remove the lever from a lock set. You just poke it in the lever retention hole and trying to do this to where y'all can see. Poke it in there, you push down on the lever retainer with it, and it comes right off in your hand. Awesome. If you have a cylinder that you're needing to take apart to rekey, you get that out of the lever, and you have to take the rose cap off of the back of the lever. We have this little retaining pin right here. You need something to push down on it, so you do that. And you can get it spun around to where you can spin that off, push it down. If you're like me, whenever you rekey a cylinder like this, you always drop that little retainer pin spring out. If it won't come out though, because of years of gunk and dirt and everything else, you use your little shrum tool. You can pull it out, loosen it up, which, by the way, I will say to Death Warp, always, always, always drop that spring like that. Because if you don't, and just assume that it will stay in the back of your cylinder plug, it will vaporize while you're rekeying it. So always drop that out and put it right next to the screw cap retainer pin. And then when you go to put everything back together, you use your shrum tool to poke down on that. And allow you to reattach that rose cap. I mean, this is basically an extension of a locksmith's hand. I mean, your fingers, your hands, everything. Isn't Mountain Dew on the North Carolina state flag? No, but it should be. Or at least the official drink of... Actually, no. Cheerwine is the official drink of the Carolinas. Classic, most important. Carolina roller. You never leave home without it. Yep. And the other morning, or the other evening when I was using S. Roberts' little Harbor Freight one, I'm like, I why have I been calling this like the most essential locksmith tool ever? And I don't have any. So yesterday when I was leaving work, I told my boss, I said, hey, I'm buying 2 of these from you. He's like, okay. And I mean, where it was made really common was a video a few years ago where you can use one of these, reach in between the strike plate and the latch and retract the latch like that to open a door. Honestly, that works about 30% of the time. At most 30% of the time. If your dead latch is engaged, which the dead latch is this part right here, and that's engaged, then it doesn't matter what you pull in here. The latch isn't moving back, and that's by design. Your dead latch is supposed to hit on the strike plate and depress while your latch stays in the strike plate and can't be slid back. That's why they added that there. Does it come out of alignment, or was it installed incorrectly? Yeah, sometimes. But most of the time it actually does work, and it prevents you from doing this. Let's see. There are no natural uses for it in Danish locks, but So carry one locksmith pick kit. Huh. Morning, Delp. Thank you for stopping, or yes, very, very early morning for you, down under. Lost a few of those springs already. Yeah. Make sure you have extras. Do a lot of access control. Yeah. The use the Shrum tool, Carolina roller. Around our shop, we call it the hook tool, except for my one coworker who calls it a dental. I mean, really, if somebody comes at me to scrape my teeth with one of these, I am getting up out of that chair and I am leaving and I am not paying my bill. Just saying. But no, the hook tool or Shrum tool, Carolina roller, uh, yeah, you can most definitely, because we do a lot of access control as well. You can reach in, grab the wires, when you're feeding it down a wall. They do make a version that's a 5-inch version, I believe, and you can definitely reach in there. I always put kind of a slight curve in mine, just very, very slight. Like, there's the tip, so I turn it that way, and then I just kind of curve it that way just a little bit, just to kind of give me something to where I can reach around a little bit more. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can use it for that. You can use it for, um, I mean, there are just so many things. If you're swapping out residential hardware and you're replacing the strike plate, speaking of the strike plate, and it's been painted around and caulked in and everything else, you can take this and reach in on the inside and pop it out. When you get a lever that has a rose that goes over the spring cover that just won't come off, you can reach in and use that to pop it off with. I mean, that's really, really cool, right? Yeah, I think it is. Let's get that on here. Get this on here. Put our screws in first. It's a passage lever I showed you guys a long time ago. Said I was going to put it on my house, probably. What brand is this? Hager. Hager. Tighten that down. Stick. There. There we go. There's that. And that. But if you need to pull the levers off, for whatever reason, just take your hook tool, hook it in there, and boom, you're off. What else do I use this thing for? Man, just like everything. Because you can use it to kind of clean out a cylinder plug. Do I have one of those somewhere? Probably not. Over here. But yeah, you can, I mean, it works great to pull out little bits of stuff. Let's see. You can use automotive locks, especially when you need poke tool. Yep, if you do automotive, this is going to be a great poke tool for that. Use one often to slip latches at work. Yeah, I mean, here we, like the most common place that I find that using this to bypass a latch, to slip the latch or whatever, uh, is with outdoor storage rooms. So, not sure if you have that there in your part of the world, Dalp, but with condominiums and apartments and whatnot, um, they use residential doors and have like an outside storage closet. So it's outside of the condo but attached, if that kind of makes sense. Um, a lot of times those aren't installed correctly, but more times than one, I've found that residential hardware, most of the time, all is in swing doors. So your latch is going to be on the other side of the stop in the frame. So you can't really get this in that way and then bend it back around that way and then reach and push the light. You can't do that. Um, and on commercial doors are normally 90% of the time installed correctly to where you can't use that attack. So, I mean, yeah, it's probably common in some places, but with just locally to my region, it works as a bypass. Like I said, between 20 and 30% of the time. Let's see, your Harbor Freight pick. Hey, a paperclip. You didn't know how hard to push and pull on the knob at the same time. You that's on you, man. Yeah. Yeah, Miko, like I said, these are made, let's see, that way's north. If you travel that direction for about 7 minutes, you'll be at the factory where these are made. Also, coincidentally, if you travel about 15 minutes that way, you'll be at the Bosch factory, one of the Bosch factories. Yeah, Dalp, I'll pick. Normally, that's the first thing I do is pick. Um, if it's a malfunction where the key doesn't matter, I use air wedges. Air wedges are really, really nice to have. Make sure that you got a couple good air wedges that slide really easily. I don't like the sticky-ish rubber ones, but the kind of canvasy feeling outside ones are my favorite because you can slide them in there, pump them up, and they'll spread the gap between the door and the frame. Just got to kind of work it and go by feel. Commercial lockouts, obviously, 90% of the time I'm going to use an under the door tool, which under the door tool comes up, goes over, and allows you to pull the lever down from the inside. Because here, all levers are required to be free from the inside for free egress. What else do we have here? What else was I going to show you with this? I was going to show y'all something with this. Um, let's see. That's not it. Um, yeah, I mean, this is basically a right angled skinny finger for the locksmith. Always carry a couple with you. There's one that is always in my tool bag at work. There's one that is on the magnet bar above my pinning kit in the truck. We have probably 100 of these inside the shop in various locations. Uh, yeah, I mean they're awesome, and for the price, I mean I don't know exactly what the price is. I know we buy them in bulk, both the standard length and the 5-inch length. Uh, but we really, I mean, we use them daily. The other good thing about these is that it has an automatic pocket reminder feature built into it. If you put this in your pocket and you forget that it is in your pocket, it will remind you the instant that you sit down. Just saying. Doesn't matter how much cushion you have that you're sitting on, it will remind you that you have sat upon this tool in your pocket. It's Viking Slim Jim band for most latches. Okay, cool. Live about 5 minutes from another Bosch manufacturer, one of the biggest accounts. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. We've got a couple big, uh, big box corporate places that we do master keying for. And it seems like it comes in spurts. It's whenever they have a construction project or they want to change this office from this function into that function, or some executive wants to do this or that and have their key work on something. Yeah. But I mean, it's nice because that's recurring revenue. So, ouch. Yeah. Uh, I Dalp, honestly, I would lose the 3D printed cover for it. I mean, I honestly would. I use the y'all probably don't have this, and I don't have it with me. I don't have one in here, I don't think. Um, I think I've just got the one in my tool bag out in the car. Um, but I use the little metal Schlage Rhodes nut tool. I keep that in a pocket in my tool bag, and then I just drop one of these down in there. It keeps it from poking through the bag, getting snagged up. Also keep my quarter 20 tap in there, so I don't have to take everything out of my tool bag to get to it. And I use it quite often. Both of them. This obviously more. Um, but when if you're a newer locksmith and you do a lot of rekeys, you'll learn that when you have a residential rekey, there are three things. I have my regular tool bag, which I've shown you guys. I'll probably bring it in um, one Saturday to show you how I've updated it and what all else I carry in there. But I have that, and then I have just like a little canvas like pouch um, that'll hold roughly 15 to 20 key and knob cylinders, key and lever cylinders, probably about 10 or 12 mortise cylinders. Um, but I have that, and in that I keep a quickset Allen, which is what size is that? 5/32, I think. Do I have one over here? I do not. I need one. Um, is it that? No, it's not that one. But it's like the 5/32 Allen wrench is the standard that comes with quickset, and it's longer. So I have one of those that stays in that pouch, and when I get out on a residential rekey, I grab that pouch and I throw one of these in there, and I throw my multi screwdriver in there, and then I walk up and I ring the doorbell because those are the four counting the pouch, four tools that you need to do pretty much any type of residential rekey in this area. Let's see, $5, $6 about 10 years ago. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried so much about protecting the tool itself as I am protecting my rear end when I sit down. Because my my back pockets are my other tool pouch that I always have. That's when you learn that you sat down with one of these in your pocket. They do they do a great job of ripping out the stitches in your pants, so keep that in mind. and and creating holes that larger tools can fall through. But I mean, probably the most common point of failure on these is the tip, like the very, very tip breaking off. And So this end becomes like half of its manufactured length. Um, See, I am still a locksmith. I drop stuff for no reason. Uh, but I mean, and I guess because of how it's hardened, it does get brittle on some occasions. So that's why that tip can break off. But even then, with half of it missing, you can still use it, to push down on the cylinder pins, or you can do what I did on one of them that had broken halfway back, and I just put it on a grinder and sharpened it out to basically a very short ice pick length. Works great for stuff. Got poked too many times by the Carolina rollers. Yeah, yeah. I sat down on mine the other day, day before yesterday. Yeah, something like that. It was a Reiki. Went out to the truck, sat down. I'd thrown this in my back pocket instead of the little tool pouch that I had that I was just telling you about. But definitely, if you're a locksmith, buy like 10 of these in the standard length and the 5-inch length. 5-inch you won't use as much. These you will use more, but keep a good handful, at the ready. Keep a spare in your truck all the time, if not two spares. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can just use it for so much stuff. Just always have it. I mean, I think that these two items right here, your multi screwdriver, 6-in-1, 8-in-1, 12-in-1, whatever screwdriver, and your hook tool, and a good set of Freedom unit Allen wrenches and metric Allen wrenches. Have those, and you're able to tackle pretty much anything. I mean, that and a can of Houdini or Super Slick, whichever you prefer. Keep it around. It's good. Yeah, I don't wear a tool belt. Um, I did in my last career. I had a tool belt. I still have that tool belt. Haven't worn it in a few months, but very, very different kind of tool belt. But no, for this job, I don't. For being a locksmith, I have my tool bag. I will bring it in because it's been what, a year and a half since I did a video showing what all I keep in my regular everyday work tool bag. So I'll bring it in one day and show everything. Um, Probably sort through some stuff too because it needs to be cleaned out. Um, and I will do that. Alrighty. I've only been going for like, what, 40 minutes now? 43 minutes? I might actually duck out of here a little bit early. I was supposed to uh, go to a social event this afternoon. It was actually a reunion with my 911 call center peeps, but that had to get rescheduled for later in the summer. So now, today, I'm working on stuff for the Three Tumblers podcast. If you've not listened to it and you don't have anything else to do and you're really bored and looking for just some sort of noise, check us out, the Three Tumblers podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Uh, but I have to write some outlines and edit an upcoming episode. Rune, I know you don't listen on any of the podcast apps. You listen on the YouTube channel. I think Tyler's getting that up to speed, like with the latest episodes. I know he was kind of behind on that, but I think he's working on that this weekend. So Anyway, folks, that's about it, actually. Houdini need to make a small can. Yeah, actually, with Houdini, and you'll see it when I bring in my tool bag. I keep the cap on, and keep a shortened straw tucked in the cap, and then I just throw it upside down in my tool bag. Um, so I always keep it there. You can buy the small cans of Houdini, actual Houdini at Lowe's, which again, this stuff is Houdini. We talked about this on the podcast. Super Slick and Houdini, the MSDS sheets are exactly the same thing. Oh, cool. Thank you, Ren. Appreciate you. Death Warp 131. Have a great weekend. Not sure if you're ducking out. I'm getting ready to. Lock a lot. You're late. You did make it, so I'll give you credit for that. Hope none of the storms have caused you any problems out your way. Hope everything's good. Appreciate you showing up. But yeah, you made it. Let's see here. Yeah, and CLK sells the small Houdini, and Lowe's Hardware I know sells it, and I've actually seen it at a couple Walmarts. But as the very tiny stuff, um, I mean, you could get it to go in a pouch. Um, Not sure how practical that is. Like, because as much Houdini as I use throughout the week, uh, I don't think a small can would really help. I'm just gonna have to bring in like my 20-pound tool bag and show you guys how that's set up. Again, litter picker. Yes, you are even later. Okay, so it was pretty stormy out there. All right, yeah, we're supposed to get some nice thunderstorms this afternoon. It's one of the reasons why my 911 reunion was canceled because who wants to be on the lake with thunderstorms going on? Not me. Mm-mm. Hey, litter by. Oh Lord. Yeah. Um. Okay. Cool. So yeah. Long story short, if you're just now joining in, buy one of these. It's called the Shrum Tool, made by Carolina Roller. Except no imitations. Don't get yours from Harbor Freight. It will bend. Uh, Keep about 3 of these in your possession at all times, and you'll be set to go. Okay, cool, Reed. I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah, we've not had any good thunderstorms here like so far this year. Normally, we're getting like beat all to crap with thunderstorms this time of year, but we had some like 2 weeks ago, week ago, that came like between 3 and 5 in the morning, and um, but this coming week it's like forecasted to have thunderstorms every afternoon. So, all right, cool. Yeah, I'll look because my phone is the camera and it won't let me look at messages and stuff while I'm living. But yes, as soon as I'm done, I will. I'll look at it. Litter picker, yes. What Dave Addion said, the Shrum tool, and it is made by Carolina Roller, and it is actually when Walt Shrum invented it, he when he designed this, he marketed it as the locksmith's multi-purpose tool, and that's really what it is. It is the what are you doing? Really? What? Anyway, sorry. Um, but it really is the locksmith's multi-purpose tool, and it will. I mean, like I was just showing, it'll do all kinds of stuff. Same as a traveler hook. Um, yes and no. Uh, I mean, like you can buy a traveler's hook, online or at Harbor Freight or someplace like that. I don't think they're as good. This is very, very hardened steel. The handle is a great, resin. It's just the right size. Um, and it works. Except no substitutions. Alrighty, folks. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wind it up. Just because it does look like it's getting ready to start to rain outside. It rained just enough yesterday evening to plant thunderstorm seeds for today. So, anyway, y'all, I really appreciate it. Um, just a reminder that the last weekend of May, I will not be live. I will be out of town and vacationing by a pool out in the country with horses. So don't look for me then. I might post a few pictures, but you know. Anyway, I will should be live every other Saturday. Um, Traveler's hooks from the hardware stores, just an O-ring pick. Yeah, pretty much. And they're not hardened and tempered like these are. I don't like the hardware store versions. These are really a lot better. Um, and like Miko Wolf was saying earlier, they are made in the U.S. And I know you missed it, Reed, but they're actually made like 7 minutes that way from where I'm standing right now. So, you know, let's see here. Need to go bass fishing. It's thunderstorming. Fishing while it's thunderstorming. I don't know. Oh wow, Anthony, that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, um, I actually met Walt Schrum a couple times. I've met him and just briefly chatted with him. I think I've talked about it before, but he's a cool guy. He doesn't get out and do stuff anymore. He doesn't go to the association meetings anymore. But he litter picker to your point that you posted. Um, Walt Schrum actually adapted that textiles manufacturing traveler's hook into the locksmith tool. So he saw that and he used one and adapted it into this thing specifically for locksmiths. Obviously, anybody who works on any type of mechanical parts can use this, but he was a locksmith by trade. Is a locksmith, retired locksmith. He's like 90 years old now, or close to it, and he's definitely in his mid to late 80s. Um, but anyway, y'all, I'm going to go get stuff ready for the recording of the podcast and edit another episode and feed all the hungry kitties and feed myself because I'm kind of hungry too. Um, You're not allowed to read Walter Schrum named Lincoln County Veteran of the Year. Really? Huh. I'll have to see. Hey, Anthony, if you could send me that link to that article, I will post it on my Twitter feed and YouTube feed or YouTube community, whatever. Yep, you won't lose it because it's red. You can see where it is. All right, folks. So I think that's about it. Um, I'm going to go ahead and sign off of here. Y'all have a great weekend. Have a great week coming up. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay stay happy, stay healthy, stay out of trouble, I guess. Normally throw something else in there, but I'm forgetting what it should be. Anyway, y'all have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it.